I'm handing you a free car, Lamborghini, Porsche, 1967 Mustang. Pick one, 3 seconds. Why haven't you chosen? Your brain just hit the paradox. More options should mean more freedom. Instead, you're frozen. This isn't indecision. This is your psychology working against you, and it happens every single day. Welcome back to The Quiet Patterns. Today, the trap that paralyzes you in the cereal aisle, the career path, the dating app, and the 3 weapons to break it forever. Chapter 1. The Psychological Hook, the Jam Experiment. Columbia University, 2 psychologists, Sheena Iyengar and Mark Lepper, set up a tasting booth in an upscale grocery store. Saturday 1, they displayed 24 flavors of exotic jam. Shoppers swarmed. Hundreds tasted. The booth was electric with possibility. Sales, 3%. The next Saturday, 6 flavors. Boring, right? Fewer people stopped, less excitement. Sales, 30%. 10 times more purchases with 1/4 the options. Same jam, same store, same customers. The only variable? The number of choices. This is the paradox of choice in pure form. Abundance promises satisfaction. It delivers paralysis, regret, and the creeping sense that somewhere in the option you didn't pick, there was something better. When did less become more powerful than more? And more importantly, when did you last feel this freeze? Was it last night, scrolling Netflix for 20 minutes, watching nothing? Was it this morning, staring at your closet, late again? Was it the job offer you didn't take? The city you didn't move to? Frozen by the fear that one path closes all others. Chapter 2. The Bridge. Barry Schwartz and the Maximizer Trap. Swarthmore College professor Barry Schwartz took that jam experiment and built a framework that explains modern anxiety. His book, The Paradox of Choice, argues that freedom is supposed to expand human flourishing. Instead, in economies of abundance, it crushes us. Here's why. Your brain didn't evolve for infinite menus. It evolved for survival decisions under uncertainty. See red berry, pick red berry, don't die. 3 options maximum. Analysis complete. Modernity broke the algorithm. Schwartz identified 2 psychological types. Maximizers treat every choice as optimization problem. They need the best possible option. They research exhaustively. They compare, contrast, check reviews, seek more data. Then, after all that effort, they're more likely to regret their choice anyway, because they know, intellectually, that perfection was possible and they might have missed it. Satisficers, a term borrowed from Nobel laureate Herbert Simon, choose good enough against their standards and stop. They don't optimize, they settle. And longitudinal studies show they're happier with their choices 72 hours later, less anxious, more likely to recommend their decision to friends. Here's the twist. We're mass-producing maximizers. From childhood, we teach optimization. Best college, best career, best partner, best life. Scroll for better, swipe for upgrade. The result? Decision fatigue so profound that by 11 a.m., most people have depleted their executive function on breakfast cereals and email responses. Your prefrontal cortex has a fuel tank. Every micro-dissection drains it. This isn't procrastination. This is cognitive overload, and it's the silent epidemic of the information age. Chapter 3. The Mirror. Your brain on infinite options. Let's get uncomfortably specific. You wake up, phone in hand before feet hit floor. 30 micro-decisions cascade. Which notification? Which app? Which email gets immediate reply? Which gets buried? Your brain burns glucose like a furnace before you've brushed your teeth. Then the dashboard. Notion for projects. Spotify for focus. 17 Chrome tabs. Research, entertainment, obligations, distractions. That article you should read. That video for later. That career path you could take if you just research more. Netflix, 15,000 titles. Amazon, 350 million products. Spotify, 100 million songs. Tinder, infinite profiles. LinkedIn, infinite opportunities. You have more options in one afternoon than medieval kings had in entire lifetimes. And the data is brutal. More choice correlates with higher rates of depression, anxiety, decision paralysis, and buyer's remorse. Not despite our wealth of options, because of them. The Open tab isn't just a browser feature, it's a psychological state, unfinished business, perpetual possibility, the sense that closure is loss, and loss must be avoided. So we keep options open until they rot. But here's what the satisficers know that maximizers don't. There's a cheat code, a pattern, 3 weapons to turn this paralysis into momentum. Chapter 4, The Weapon, the Quiet Patterns Protocol. You didn't come here for theory, you came for tools. Here they are, battle-tested, neuroscience-backed. Deploy today. Weapon 1, the rule of 3. The brain drowns when it tries to drink the ocean. The rule of 3 is your cup. It forces filtration before fatigue. The exact protocol. Before any decision, write down 3 non-negotiable criteria. Not 4, not 3 to 5, exactly 3. Physically write them. This externalizes the standard so your brain can't move the goalposts mid-search. Evaluate your first option against all 3 criteria simultaneously. Does it satisfy all 3? Yes. Stop searching immediately. No. Next option. You get maximum 3 options total. If none hit after 3 evaluations, you have 2 choices. Lower one criterion or accept the closest match. No exceptions. No, just one more search. Why this works. Pre-commitment to satisfaction. You're not hunting for the mythical best. You're hunting for good enough against my explicit standards. Research proves satisficers using this method report higher choice satisfaction 72 hours later than maximizers using exhaustive comparison. Buying a laptop. Criterion 1. Under $1,200. Criterion 2. Minimum 8-hour battery. Criterion 3. Can run my specific software stack. Find 3 models that qualify. Pick the cheapest. Research time. 12 minutes. Not 3 days of YouTube reviews and Reddit threads. Choosing a restaurant for date night. Criterion 1. Within 15-minute drive. Criterion 2. Takes reservations. Eliminates waiting anxiety. Criterion 3. Has at least 1 dish she'll love. Open Google Maps. 3 options. Book the first one that fits. The connection matters more than the venue. The paralysis costs more than the suboptimal choice. The rule of 3 trains your brain that closure is victory, not loss. That good enough is a destination, not a compromise. Weapon 2, artificial constraints. If infinite choice is the poison, constraints are the antidote. But life won't constrain you. You must build the walls yourself. The constraint architecture. Level 1, digital constraints. 1 browser for work, 1 for personal. Never mix context in the same digital space. Hard limit, 6 browser tabs maximum. The 7th tab forces you to close one first. Watch how your research tightens when space is finite. 1 note-taking app, Notion, Obsidian, Roam, Apple Notes. Audit them all. Pick one, delete the others. Your second brain cannot live in 5 houses simultaneously. Level 2, temporal constraints. Same breakfast every weekday. Eliminates 5 weekly decisions instantly. Variety is overrated. Cognitive conservation is underrated. Every constraint you install becomes automatic, running in background without draining executive function. Free up that power for what matters. Weapon 3, the 2-minute burn. For when you're already stuck in the spiral, 45 minutes comparing the 4th and 5th hotel, watching your evening evaporate, hating yourself slightly. The exact protocol. Minute 0, set a visible timer. Phone countdown, microwave, browser extension. Visibility is non-negotiable. The timer must be seen, creating external pressure your internal willpower cannot. Minute 0 to 1. Rapid fire lists 3 good enough options. No research permitted. Gut instinct only. What feels right based on existing knowledge. First 3 that surface. Minute 1 to 2. Pick one, any one. The middle one if you truly cannot differentiate. Commit verbally. I am choosing option B. Verbalization creates psychological binding. Minute 2. Execute immediately. Click buy. Book the reservation. Start the task. Physical action breaks the paralysis loop. Motion creates momentum. The neuroscience. Decision paralysis feeds on temporal investment. The longer you deliberate, the more your brain inflates the choice's perceived importance, creating sunk cost pressure to make it worth it with more research. The 2-minute burn cuts oxygen to that anxiety spiral. Netflix paralysis. 2 minutes, 3 genres only. Pick one. Hit play in 90 seconds or the decision is made for you. You watch nothing tonight. Spoiler, you'll pick something. The threat of 0 unlocks action. Mathematicians have derived the optimal stopping algorithm. Spend exactly 37% of your total search time just looking, establishing a baseline quality threshold. Then commit to picking the very next option that exceeds everything you've seen previously. No exceptions. This maximizes probability of optimal choice at roughly 37%, which sounds low until you compare it to the 5% satisfaction rate of endless comparison shoppers. The integration. Your personal protocol. Don't install all 3 weapons tomorrow. You'll crash. Sequential deployment. Week 1, 1 rule of 3 decision daily. Morning routine is perfect training ground. Week 2, add 1 artificial constraint. Start with digital. Tab limit is low-hanging fruit. Week 3, deploy 2-minute burn on your worst paralysis trigger. Netflix, restaurant apps, online shopping. Week 4, assessment. You'll feel it first physically, less shoulder tension. Then in sleep, deeper rest. Then in output, you're actually completing projects instead of researching them. The infinite menu isn't going away. Netflix will add more shows. Amazon will add more products. Your phone will find new ways to fragment your attention into monetizable particles. But you now have a pattern, a quiet pattern. 3 weapons that turn abundance from a prison into a playground. The goal was never perfect decisions. The goal is deciding perfectly, quickly, cleanly, with enough cognitive fuel left to actually enjoy what you chose instead of second-guessing it. You have 24 hours. Pick 1 weapon, deploy it once, report back in the comments, build the pattern. I'll see you in the silence between the noise.